Hi, especially today where I have to fix this issue when I'm being Ansible. That time is how to fix this issue. Today where let's go. This is the exercise key problem on where password. That time just one host is successful, but other host is not success because this exercise keep problem my host got the message.
Yeah, automation.
Yeah.
Wow, engineer. Automation stress.
So you the parents something like this. Like the first thing you need to check if all your hosts are upright. If they are up, there's a way that will do a normal thing. That is telling them just deploy this
Which software are you using?
Ansible. You install it on your Linux do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many things that are so many. This will add another error. See what is going
Mm-hmm.
on. Now, like an infrastructure, this will use about 20 minutes. It should be up and running. 20 minutes is too much. About 10. Because you just go and set the batch. I will add another 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Right, this is just going and having a main script that forward all these other things. They have secret playbook. There are secret rules that they have to perform. You just call all of them in the way you want it to be. Like if you, let's say, added a new
Mm-hmm.
and record okay. Okay, let's say this is a new department that we are adding. This is account. We got in this step to make it a management device. Means that means that you the management on this page you are assigning an IP address in the management network,
Mm-hmm.
right? Create a system username and password so that it can be easily accessible to Ansible device.
Mm-hmm.
Create now a small route so that it should route any traffic from here and send to this gateway. This will help any other like the Ansible node to reach him directly.
Mm-hmm.
So after you have done that, what we are going to make is that immediately we are already ensure that he has fulfilled the condition to be management device. We want that we should create the accounting department here as the accounting VLAN here, it creates this distribution and call at once. It creates a sub-interface that's VLAN 60 and uses it, encrypts it, and see because this is a call switch, right? So one that all these devices on Android use their gateway. So you create that sub-interface VLAN 60 only here on the core, so that in case you want to go out the VLAN 60 want to go out any device on VLAN 60 wants to go out, it must pass them through this core.
Through the call switch.
Yes, then after that, you create what an OSPF route to be added on so that you'll be able to route this network to this other one, this network to know about it. So immediately you deploy that script, you create you a VLAN, you create VLAN, you create some interfaces, and you create OSPF route. So immediately you deploy the script and it's done, other network you need to do that new network that was just created. As automation, network engineering is dynamic. As the configuration is changing within this area, that's how it will need to be dynamic and change. You can do so many things. If firewall policy was blocking it, to make also that bad, that immediately you are done with this one. Clean it out for us. Now bring that network to pass. So let's go and look at our script. Okay, our script is done. See, so if we look at it, take a summary of what happened.
So this Ansible
Does it for you, but you the way you create it, right, you leave some text for it is in plain text, so you can leave some tags.
that you can perform manually.
No, when I mean tags means like you give a name, the way you name it, just by you looking at it. See, configuring roofing on iOS devices means iOS devices, so we need to update this script. Yes, our template. We have contains the VLAN that we are going to create. So this way, if you have any new VLAN, you come and add them here. Come and add them here, and you apply now on that our core switch that should have been configured.
So I'm saying that when you do the automatic to this,
Yes.
you don't even need to configure this.
No, we're not configuring anything on the switch. We're configuring from here. So automation now. Yeah. So we have a small algorithm. Let me show you the algorithm. Small algorithm that we are using. There's something.
Yeah, saying that you should go inside the
No. Cut. Cut. I want to see. It's a script. It's a script now that I've written. This is just a configuration, a simple configuration. So we're saying that I should apply this configuration on that core switch. So we're using the host name. We're saying that apply this configuration on this core switch. Now the task is that you should deploy some interface on the core switch, which this is a template. The template is this file. We're telling me that run me this command on that command. So that's what we are doing. So what we have to modify now is this this new SDID T2 template. J2. Good. So if you have another network, another department comes, you just simply come here and you add it. Interface 0 Okay, that means we are at 60. That is VLAN 16. This is it. The one we were to add now. The description, the accounting, you put an IP address to the interface, and now you do what? You do no short, so I should come up. Then you do what? You save it. After you are done, that's the one for sub interface. We need the one for OSPF route. Let me show you the one for OSPF route. No, OSPF config.git. Yes, this is the configurations of OSPF route. This is a template. You see, this is a structure. When you are configuring OSPF, you see router OSPF, then it takes the process ID maybe 1. Yes, this one, this is place for that variable for 1. Right. After you have done that, the next step is that you do network. Then you start specifying the networks that you want to. That network is to let's say broadcast. I'm recording it. So you have a placeholder for that network that you're putting in. This is a placeholder for that wildcard mask. This is a placeholder for that area, like area 0. This one is mostly standby. At times, the company might have 2 different areas. Yes, so we put in placeholders for them to hold those values. Then there's one last thing that I need to show you. This configuration. This one applies to every device. Once as you are an iOS device, that's a Cisco device, be router or switch, it must apply to you. Like you see that new switch, right? We don't give any host name to it, it was just switch. But when we deploy base configuration, deploy base configuration, you will use it where we save that variable. Because we save the variable, let me show you how we save these variables. Will be good. See the way we save these variables. Right. Let's say academy accounting switch. Okay, we will save this variable. You will take this variable name and go and name that switch for us. So when the configuration is done, during this configuration, you will take this variable, right, as a host name variable and configure it. You will see host name, you will use now this configure it for us. So if we go to that switch now, that the name switch has been changed to accounting switch. Yes. 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 Yes.
How do you use it? Or do you buy Linux?
This is a Linux machine. This is the same thing that they do in an enterprise. So let me show you my topology. Okay, this is our infrastructure, right? So within your server network where you're doing the orchestration, the management side, this is you have your Linux machine. It's showing you this your Linux machine. Yes. Yes, is it? Is your Linux? This your machine. You have installed Ansible on it. To install Ansible is sudo apt install Ansible. When you install Ansible there, start running now your plays are created. Playbooks. When you're working with Ansible, you have things like playbooks. Playbooks they contain your instructions that you want Ansible to do. Like your task that you want him to do. Maybe you say configure VLAN, that's a task. Like configure hostname, that's a task. So you have things like that that you do. This is my firewall. 48 firewall at the center, separating each segment of my network.
So this is not even an additional cost.
No additional cost. Nothing. Yes. There's not.
Whenever you come and
It's free. You don't pay for Ansible. Nothing. It's free. Open source. Yes.
But now, is it not vulnerable to attack?
Vulnerable. It depends. We have another feature with Ansible. We have something that you call Ansible role. Vulnerable to attacks on software that are well patched. If you are running it with a monitoring software, because after you
When
have a
I'm running
monitoring
from here
software,
to here,
yes, you can be filtering. Yes, you can be filtering from here. We permitted some of these things to help us at least make things easier.
this is the internet here.
Yes, this is your internet. We do
Then it's
firewall
protected.
monitoring, but it's protected. It's protected. So if you ping this new switch, let's come to the new switch. The configuration was done. This is the new switch that was added. Come on. Look at that. It has changed from switch to account switch. This is base configuration that has been applied. The first thing. After this configuration was applied, we show VLAN. Created that VLAN 60 for us. Right? So the next step that we shall need to do manually now is to assign these pieces to the, yes, but you can automate it, but now it will depend how you the engineer or classifying devices. Okay, we can say that from port 10 to 20, right? It should be assigned to devices. If we have that same interval in the way we are connecting pieces to the switches, we can automate it. But if let me say we don't have that interval, maybe you see here in this switch you can see for 2 to 3 is connected. This way you have something by 10 to 7 is connected. You see that regularity is not there. It's not there. But once you
Now,
have,
if I wonder, I should block nothing else.
yes, we can have something. We can create a VLAN. We can create a VLAN called parking lot, which is going to block the all the ports to shut all the ports that are not running. So it means that we need to keep track of the ones that are connected, and the ones that are not connected. So you can block it. It's very good. You can even start applying things like port security. You do it by automation, because manually to create it manually is very difficult. The worst is to remove it. That's why in companies, when we watch most of these movies that they do pen testing, you see that they have realized that majority, about 80 or 90% of their pen tests that they do, right, none of them have implemented for security. Do it in simple configuration, but they say the main difficulty with them is that when you want to remove from one space to go to another space, you need to remove that port security that you put on that place, which is difficult for them. So by default, they don't implement the port security at all, which is also risky. But if you have something like automation, you can just put it. To remove a configuration is just to put no in front, right? And that configuration, you have removed it. But we can automate it by just simply creating some variables here. Let's say want to remove host name, you say no host name, I've removed it. But if we put a variable in front here that we can switch it up and on, means if we want to remove it, we just put the placeholder of that variable no, and it will just go to all the configurations where it needs to remove them. If call that process preventing, that's another part of automation where company can revert back to where they were working. It's good, those are another things that we can do. So after you have configured like this, you are done. The next thing is you to push it now to GitHub. So that's the next step of this man. He says to push it out to GitHub. Okay, oh, see how to do it.
You cannot even do, you cannot do cloud without different.
Yes, I show you. I'll share it today. I don't know what I should do it now. How do I implement it now in this my lab? Okay. That's the next step of this. That when you're done now is to push now to your Git repository. So once you push now to your GitHub repository, you're putting it now in a centralized. GitHub is a centralized server where you store code so that for teams to easily collaborate, right? Let's say we are the two engineers managing this infrastructure. You are in US and I'm here. When I do any configurations, when I'm pushing it with that each of the configurations that we are doing with a commit message, maybe I can say that add a new department, accounting department. So just you seeing that in my message, accounting department has been added, you already know what has happened. It means today, because it keeps tracks of the time and the date when these configurations was done, you can say that, oh, this day right added an accounting department. Just from that message, you can get something, know that, oh, I added this department. Another thing, let's say a change happened, let's say or you were called, right? That a server, then a change needs to be done on a particular server. You come, you do a change. 30 minutes, the server went down. We can revert back to where it was working. Maybe when I added that department, you can revert back. So you remove all those codes when the thing was working perfectly well. You remove everything that like, let me say, like the new thing that you added it. Maybe if you did a change on that server, you will remove all that one, leave it when it was working well for us. And when we would redeploy, the server will come back, everything will come back up running. So that's one thing that version control is saving. That's why when you're doing automation, version control came in. So the first thing with version control is that we could track changes, like we would make configurations. Like if you come to this device, you show something like show, let's say show run. It does not keep track on of the person who has configured. You see, it does not keep any track. It did not say that was the one who configured it. So that was one of the things that the engineers wanted to solve. To track who configured the device, when did he configure? Because an attacker can still configure. You see now, that was one thing. Then now have a central place, because you know one that when I configure my machine, you need your machine to come and continue. You need to call you that come with that code. No. You want that when you configure, you should restore to central place where I can come a different day, right? I retrieve back that code that is stored on that server and I continue on it. And when I finish, I push it back. So the second one, we have centralized management, right? That all of us can work. We can even work directly, pushing. We can be putting code and be pushing. You can be creating templates for
Oh, that
servers.
one is not possible.
It's Ansible. You are doing it with you are configuring servers and configuring routers. You're pushing your codes and pushing my codes. All of us are working together. And we're storing the codes in a centralized location. So that's the things you do with the version control system. So version control system is
See
a
why I was
mission
looking for the
because
I don't need to waste any code.
yes, we're not going to miss. We'll see how to adjust. I'll adjust things. Yes. Yes.
Do
We'll
as
see
you
how
are
to
going.
adjust. Yes.
The one of today, what you need to add in there. You know, at the end of the day, you will have all the notes
Yes.
in the word.
Okay. See how to make a table.
Yes, now this laptop, this use this
Lab.
this thing.
This file.
This is a file. Right. Then when the one that I'll put, I'll use the checkpoint. But I want to do the commands to Fortinet very well. Go
Yes.
through the notes. I have notes.
Yes, we'll do it. Fortinet commands are not difficult. Does not even take
It's
time.
just like Cisco. I think the environment is friendly like Cisco.
Yes, it's friendly. It's friendly. Let's finalize with this our project, what I was doing here. Let's assign this port, then we'll try now to ping now this other remote because we already have a route from here. That is routing this new department that we just created now to the other one. Very powerful. VLAN, let's see the internet. If okay, do find a configuration. Do show VLAN. Okay, great. That is. Oh, sorry. Like this. Okay, great. Okay, these are ports that are available on this switch, right? Okay, so we can say from this to this. Okay, this is a good range. So I'll just add the port. We'll look at the scenario. Maybe we'll say at the level of the access switch, we want a 24 port switch or a 64 port switch. Then I will subtract the ones that will go in for port to port connection, like see tongue links, the one going from tongue links. Then the one that will go in for access, you can see the first 12 ports for each department should be open, should be connected to PCs, while the remaining ports should be put on shutdown. We can do that, it will work for all. We can automate it and it will go for all. So let's say interface range, say E02, let's say 3 because it's hard one, so they range from 0 to 3. Then we can say E1, we can say 1 to, okay, let me put this one, connect this one, then the remaining one I'll shut it down. So interface range, this 3, which is just this two, right? You see, by default, switch mode access, even though by default they're in access mode. You have two modes with switch mode, access or trunk, right? This one to assign to PCs to the VLANs, you use access, right? The switch
Access to
trunk.
switch to switch is strong.
Yes,
Switch to PC is access.
yes,
Okay, switch from
yes.
at switch from mode.
Switch
How do you
mode,
put
switch mode.
mode from?
Yes,
Okay. Switch access mode. Switch mode.
access. Switch mode access. Yes. Are you going to even? So say switch access VLAN, code VLAN 60. You do right. So this is something that we can also automate. Then the next one, interface range. So if you after you have assigned them, right, again to VLAN, you look at something. You see that ports have been assigned to that VLAN. So we have segmented. This is what we were talking about today. Creating VLAN, when you create a VLAN, when you subnet, is you implementing things like VLAN. So we have separated this network, we have separated this traffic. So we have a VLAN traffic, small accounting traffic. They are no longer part of our accounting traffic. So everything here will shut them down. So you can see now that interface range E1, you can see since the range from 0 to 3 by 1, then E from 2 the same You see, short, which you're shutting down, and shutting them down administratively. You see, you are turning down. So anyhow you're doing your automation, you need to be dynamic. The way you structure them. If you have a let me say the same structure for all your devices is going to help you and you can easily automate. Once you have the same structure for everything, that's already automation that have come in. But when you don't have that regularity in your network, that you cannot automate those type of things. So we don't just automate any type of things. We see things that are repetitive and we just automate them. So once you have a repetitive job, you automate. It means you have to automate. But if there's no repetitive job, let's say like you have two different switches, you have Juniper here, you have Cisco switch. These are two different commands already. There's no need. But see, we are working with Cisco brands here. There's a lot to automate. So that's how you automate. That notion of you automating comes in. When you have repetitive job, you automate. But if you see that in the future, right, you bring in maybe a Juniper or a Cisco switch, maybe yes, you can automate. Just keep those configurations. But they will not apply immediately until when you bring in now those switches before now you can have um, automation and it will save you. There's one also part of this things that you can automate. We shall do one lap scroll. It's part of the patch management, upgrading the switch, Cisco switch. That's one powerful app. We shall do it here. We shall upgrade all these switches. I'll create it. You want to update all layer 2 switches. So the way you group them, like you see these devices, let me show you the way I group them. Okay. Look at this. Look at how they are grouped. Layer 3 switch, we have our distribution switch and the core. Layer 2 switch, we have just here our layer 2 switches. Yeah, DMZ switch, arrow switch, finance switch, all of them are here. Routers they are down here. Then you have servers down here. Oh, I'll create them. I have not yet automated them now. So if now we want to do things like patch management, as you upgrading, right? Layer 3 switch, you have different images from layer 2 switch. So we can say that if you are part of the layer 3 switch, this is the image that you use for patch management for upgrading. It means if you are in layer 2, use layer 2 image. If you are a router, use this router image. So just the way you group them too will help you a lot in your automation. So now if you want to add, let's say, a new department again, it's a layer 2 now, an access switch will just come and add them again on time. So the way you group them too also matters. You have something also, those variables, like if you want to apply a particular configuration just on a particular device, you can apply them directly without them affecting all other devices. You can apply them. Ansible is very broad when you understand it well. I've not seen anything like this online. None. With this topology, right? There's none online. If you can go online now, search even on PNet Lab. Let me show you an example of what is on PNet Lab. Let me see. Ansible store. Let me open it. See automation. See what is online. Ansible. See. Create VLAN, you just put switches, link them together. We even have just one. See, this is one OSPF, they just link routers. See, they have direct connection. None of them have any security device connected or implemented. There's no security implemented in all the technologies that are same. And all their structure, right? It cannot be implemented in a real world scenario environment. The only just to link and just to show how automation is working. But if they say implement this in a real world scenario, it will not be even possible. So that's the difference with us. We have an enterprise structure. That is well structured. You can see everything is segmented. Several network is grouped in one segment. DMZ zone, things that are going to the internet, they are grouped on another segment, and your internal network. So everything is separated. So one of the future things I'll do is this provisioning. I don't know what time. Provisioning. Provisioning is
Let me
to
forward this to you. You have to go somewhere in the website and see how
okay. Okay. I already checked it.
you already checked it.
Yeah, just I did not finally configure the automation check. But I was to automate it now. It was just that resources. I just had in mind that no, I'll never do it
No,
because not having resources. Yeah, yeah. I
so I
already
wonder
checked it
this
until I even installed the modules. I- Okay, these are resources to access it. I was to automate it in the project, but since
we can't accept it. Let me know where. You know where I accept it is right. That man said that they don't come out. You go outside. We'll go find that. Yes. You must get the super. You don't find an issue. You don't we go work out. The person will come here to sleep in that room. They find you. You walk away and see me boy and not bring me the bring you. If they not bring you, let me you hold on. We'll try to go through those things, then plus your own resource that you know, I have to several these things here that are downloaded. Let me also see. But if I send it to you,
let me do and send a video to this lecture major.
everything is okay now.
Yeah, everything is okay.
That program, you
structure
said
is
you
up.
sent the new program back to me.
Yes, I did. I did while we were still.
So I should remove this your own program.
Yes, yes, remove it. This new one is well detailed with tasks to do. Okay, and these are the new department.
I don't
Then visit I'll send them down.
that's what I'm saying. I already understand. Once I'm people do send back.
Okay.
I wanted to delete this first one. This one is 2 more system admin benefits. Send that one.
Okay, no problem. No problem, sir. Okay. This issue is coming from our accounting switch. We need a default route. A default route. Okay. Grouping 190. Okay, grouping 170. Voila. Grouping 10 1. Voila. 2 1. Wow. Everything is okay. I wish. Let's test from here now. Why is it not going this way? Okay. I get the memo. We can reach 10.40. So the reason why we cannot use this other field, we need a route since it's a VPC. Yeah, we need a route. We need a route to create a default route from it, a default gateway, default route to use to reach to the other network. Because from this other switch now, you can reach. So let me put to better showcase it. Let me just add a small Windows 7 machine here. Then we'll see. The Win 7. There's no Windows 7. Only this. Oh shit. Oh, wow. Now, well, let me pull in next one.
Oh yeah, machine is full. Why is it not on?
No. Same. Okay. Okay, it's growing. This one is growing. Then what is wrong? Let me show the configuration of this one. You can reach. You can reach. Let me see. What can I show? Okay, IP default gateway. Okay. Makes sense now. Makes sense. So the gateway that was sending to the management gateway IP, since we said it should be IP. To default gateway 192.168.1.1 IP allows no. Right. Good. IP 81/26. Being what could be the issue with this one? The subinterface not defined yet, or rather not created. Enable options. Okay. Yes. Then the OSPF. Okay, single core switch. Let me see something. Enable, okay, that is up. Show out the points show ID protocol. And there you go. The route is not added. Very easy troubleshooting. OSPF route of any node operating was not added. So very simple. You come here in our core switch. So one thing to troubleshooting. You must know what is wrong. Let me see. Core switch. Ah, you see, it's not there. Very different nice. Yeah, we know what was wrong already. The manual core switch. Yep. 2, 3. Okay, so this is a new this one Ansible. You will need a development environment. You have serious troubleshooting because we don't use tab. Like you see, I was not pressing tab, I was using the space. One, okay, 128. This is a new network. I want this core router to broadcast, right? So that's the network that I want him to broadcast. We need to create what a wildcard mask. These are the variables that I was talking about that you need to create. You see, we have created variables to hold those values. So now when you are using a template now will be checking out these variables that you have put in place. Like you see the first thing, you do router, OSPF router, the process ID will be there. So you check now that process ID variable is what? 1. Taking you configure OSPF router 1, right? The next thing you go network. Now this is the network address. You will take the address. The next value will be what? Taking that wildcard map. It will be this one, and finally area. So you will run for all of this. When means you finish configure this first one, configure this second one, then come and configure this last one. Step 3 in the last see area. Let's run back our Ansible script. Then our deploy script that let me just show you how the deploy script is before I run it. So you should have yeah. This is it. It means the first thing it creates you that new department, right? It creates now the VLAN on the new switch and on the distribution layer and core layer. As it creates on the distribution switch 1, switch 2, then now creates the same VLAN on that core switch, right? The next thing you add now OSPF route on that our core switch. You create that sub interface VLAN 60 because you need to create those sub interfaces, right? need to assign an IP address for it so that since that call switch is acting like a gateway, so you need to assign it a switch virtual interface so that it should act like the gateway for that new VLAN that's created, that new VLAN 16. Enable, deploy, uses still small polishing like classifying things. That's doing its thing. Checks if any new device was added, creates their host name. So the person is deploying the base configuration. Let me do a check or wrong with the Indian switch. Incorrect. Yes, it says she's using my password. Configuration has changed occurrence.
You brought the change one
Yes.
and that ratio is different.
Yeah.
But this is how this should look like.
That was already some amount of registration. I need to go back to the site and pay what and pay money.
Yeah,
Yeah, send it to you. Withdraw it.
no,
Send to
the
me
necessary things
otherwise.
and then I'll send you a screenshot. Remember.
Can just send it now.
That's what I'm saying. That should
Yes.
you just copy it.
Mm-hmm. Just put as my recording is on. So that you should be seeing it as it's working. Yes, and it's high quality video. Very feel I show you. Very clean emotion. This is what I was supposed to showcase at the end. Anyway, I already have my very Hannah, he told me, smiling already, pretending to be value call, and pretty, without telling. Mm. Mm. Nice one. And yeah, he knows waiting like he has to program now. It's not, I'm not alone.
That's what I'm saying. That when he has the money, he should know it. You understand? Like when it's October, when your other sister is going back to school, he start moving all the money.
You answering.
Yes, no. The one thing he has now, maybe 200,000, secure it. When you are coming now,
I don't know how to pay for. Ah,
you know your face is
teacher
coming.
now.
You know your face is coming.
That was,
350.
yeah, yeah,
So that's what I'm telling you. Except that I have to intervene. Oh, that's what I'm saying. The money, when you go there, you tell him the one that is available, they should start paying. So with you, okay, I can intervene with it. Yeah, no, yeah. If you bring one person, two persons, three persons,
okay, that already have a reducing why do we even take into consideration discount.
one.
I have a discount of 200.
Well,
That day at the manga room 200. At Madame Madame Nadesh Raspberry. He gave me a discount of 200.
how do you
He told me when all of us were there. So he said, he was in my house. I said, they are giving me a discount of 200. Yeah. You can still verify now.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, like discussing.
Yeah, I'm the one who understand.
Hmm.
So now we are coming to the agreement those who bring people, and then you see how they motivate them. So now if you bring Steve,
Yes.
he's not even a student from you,
So you be student.
he's a student.
Corp.
He's a very skill that was very intensive.
No.
Okay, now if you bring Steve, you bring some or you bring like 200 people. Let me say 3 persons that you have convinced. Now say I'm not a discount. As a fairer bonus. But like we are not giving scholarship, nothing. Then they say they are giving you discount of 200,000 that is scholarship. I'm the one who discussed that. Okay, you people from college should give you a discount of who wanted to have you should come and do session 2 and 3 and then refuse. You understand? Then everybody is not on the same level. You, maybe you are perfect, but some other person in your class maybe is not perfect. So everybody has to step back. And then now there are other things. Like send me
Oh, okay, that listen. Let me just forward it again.
powers that be to take their responsibility for a particular state.
Forward it.
Is going around with a particular documentary presenting the head of state as a great state now, a great destiny. Yes, I agree that this state a great destiny, but most importantly, he is somebody that is backed by an extraordinary grace. And I'm telling the head of state who came to power
I can ping that new device from here. A new PC that was just added. That role has been created. OSPF role has been created. So I can use that device. So this PC. I could not reach. Okay, you can reach now because the OSPF route is now available. So yeah, good.